Let's take you to KZN now, where AmaZulu King Misuzulu kaZwelithini is expected to address members of the Shembe Church today. Congregants gathered at the eNCA Royal Palace to celebrate the monarch's ascension. Security has been beefed up following the murder of the king's close ally, Prince Mbongiseni Zulu. We've got a senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge, who is in Nongoma and joins us this morning. A very good morning to you, Siphamandla Goge. Thank you for joining us on Newslink. Tell us about a little bit about what the proceedings for today are set to look like as we prepare to hear from the King himself as he addresses the congregants today.
Well, today is day 2 of the 9th Royal Sabbath and Umgidi ceremony, which is taking place in eNCA Royal Palace in Nongoma. That's in the northern part of KwaZulu-Natal. It started yesterday. Day 1 was mainly about Isabatha Lama Nazareta, whereby it was about, the worship, prayer service, 2 sessions. There was a prayer session in the morning and a prayer session in the afternoon, and then those were presided over by His Holiness uNyazilu Zulu, and he is the one who was guiding those 2 sessions from yesterday. As you can see, Bongamkiza is showing you thousands of AmaNazareta lining up the streets waiting for the arrival of His Holiness uNyazilu Zulu, who will also form part of today's activities together with AmaZulu King Misuzulu kaZwelithini. So in the morning there will be session 1, which will be about prayer, and then in the afternoon or mid-morning, midday should I say, there will be that famous Umgidi ceremony. It's all about traditional song and dance, but well choreographed in line with AmaNazareta's principles and traditions, values as well. So you will have sessions and groups that will be broken down into various sessions, and they will be performing Umgidi today. The Nazareth Baptist Church, or church rather, popularly known as Shembe, prides itself for being one of those African churches that are deeply rooted in African culture, tradition and practice. So in the afternoon you will see a beautiful cultural display which will be well choreographed of Umgidi, and AmaZulu King Misuzulu kaZwelithini together with uNyazilu Zulu, they will be observing that Umgidi, which will be happening for the better part of the day. Yesterday's sermon by uNyazilu Zulu focused on the interview that you've just heard with your previous guest that has to do with the issue of gender-based violence, the issue of femicide, and then His Holiness uNyazilu Zulu calling for peace, stability and for eradication of violent crime and murder in South Africa. He spent the better part of the day preaching about how men should respect and protect women, saying this thing of men killing women is uncalled for. It has to come to an end. You get a sense that even churches are playing a leading role when it comes to dealing with issues of gender-based violence, femicide, but also taking into account the latest statistics that were released by Police Minister General Begitele about crime in South Africa, and KwaZulu-Natal having 2 police stations that feature highly in terms of the murder rate in the country. His Holiness uNyazilu Zulu spoke at length about the issue of violent crime, not only in KwaZulu-Natal but in South Africa as a whole. He prayed for peace within AmaZulu royal family, peace within the Zulu kingdom, as well as peace and stability across South Africa, saying in order for development to take place, there has to be stability. Women and children and vulnerable members of the society need to be well protected. I see this black car here. I can tell you that it belongs to one of the queens and royal family members. If my memory serves me well, we could see the arrival there of Queen Mother, that is Mavis uMazungu. Queen Mother Mavis Mazungu is the only surviving wife of King Beguzulu. King Beguzulu was King Zwelithini's father. So the arrival of some senior royal family members signals the fact that we are likely to see the commencement of day 2 of this program, which is mainly about Umgidi today, but there will be a prayer session this morning.
Siphamandla, if you could just help the viewers understand why the union between the church and the royal family is so important, the historical roots that reside in there, but also the divisions within the Shembe Church we've seen over the years. Would they have an impact at all on the relationship between itself and the royal family?
Relations between the church and the royal family date back from many years ago, but those relations have been sour at some point. If my memory serves me well, in 2010 they were at an all-time low when the then King kaZwelithini was prevented from going to eBuhleni to see uTingo Lwenkosazana. At the time was the leader of the eBuhleni side of the church. He was ailing and the king had gone to see him. He was prevented by a group of senior priests, and then those relations broke down. It took about 3 to 4 years for the current Inkosi of AmaNazaretha uNyazulu to revive those relations when he went to KwaKhangela Mankengane to apologize to King kaZwelithini at the time. And King kaZwelithini said in order to revive these relations, there must be an annual royal Sabbath and Umgidi ceremony that will take place at the traditional palace of eNyokeni. So this is the 9th edition of that event that was agreed upon by the king at the time, the late King kaZwelithini kaBhekuzulu and uNyazilwe. So to rekindle and basically revive those relations that were strained at the time. And you are seeing this weekend, the gathering of the two biggest institutions in KwaZulu-Natal, if you would call it that way. I'm talking about the Zulu royal family, the king, as well as one of the biggest churches, not only in South Africa, but in Africa as a whole. The church has got millions of members, and here eNyokeni Royal Palace, thousands are gathering this weekend. So it's a powerful reunion, it's a powerful partnership whereby you see two of the biggest institutions in the kingdom coming together to foster and maintain the relations for the sake of nation building, as well as both leaders would talk today, or rather will speak today. They are talking about the issue of rural development, and most members of the church are from rural areas. So we expect that the speech of the king later today will focus on issues of eradicating gender-based violence, femicide, as well as prioritizing agriculture and rural development, as well as issues of education, because you've got young members of the church that are still, within institutions of higher learning, and they would want to get job opportunities when they are done. So this is not only about church and prayer service, but it will also address issues of socio-economic challenges that the kingdom and the province is facing.